Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to One Piece X My Hero. Why? Because I haven't come out with the thing in I think like 14 days or something like that. But yeah. My man Deku's gonna, as you can see on the screen, he's gonna look a bit different. So, origin time on how this is actually possible. Back in ancient times, dragons, monsters, gods, and all other things that, were in the One Piece world, I guess, or just in general, were scattered across the world as the Celestials began to research the world around them. Noticing that there was this DNA strand on the other side of the world called a quirk. They noticed that if the quirk were to somehow get in the hands of a monster or, entity of their side of the world, it would cause collateral and basically domination over all ecosystems and other things like that. So the ancient Celestials began to use their magic beyond what they're supposed to use, dividing the worlds into two. So only those who are worthy and those who seek truth, those who can even ponder the thought of another reality, or technically world, but yeah, right next to theirs, literally. As this will be done, their powers will dramatically decrease, and to stop the monsters from trying to open up the barrier, they would put all the gods and monsters into fruits, creating devil fruits. Whoever consumes these fruits will gain the abilities of that item, creature, or creation, or idea of the fruit. So they split the worlds into two, they created the devil fruits. They erased, if not basically erased their existence from the side of the world. This part of the world, or the only portal they had on the world, was known as the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle was the only way to go from the My Hero world to the One Piece world. The only reason why flying crafts, ships, and other things have sank were due to the monsters that would, accidentally ponder into the My Hero world. And so, it was given the name, the Monster Circle or the Monster Sea. As one day on a journey, far, far, you would see a rich couple of enthusiasts, not just enthusiasts, but adventurers. I can't remember, what was their name when people look for like ancient artifacts and whatnot? Psychologists? No, psychologists were ecologists, I think. Yeah, wait, hold up. I should have done this before. Hold up. Ancient called. I was right. Archaeologists. So these archaeologists heard of rumors. The My Hero world wouldn't be completely lost to the memory of One Piece world, but Those who know the story have either passed or are on their deathbeds, so only very minimal few people to the top 10 people know. And even so, these people don't even really think they exist. They only know the rumors or stories of them. Number 1, Nezu, of course. Number 2, All for One, of course. Number 3, Overhaul, I'm guessing. Basically, any Dr. Ochiko, but they only think as just a fairy tale. They don't think it's actually real, so they never checked. Because, yeah. It's basically saying that big pigs can fly, basically, so yeah. So these archaeologists decided to ponder. They had ancient drawings, or, ancient manuscriptures of devil fruits, or technically devil fruit, or fruits in general. These show the events of time, the past. And so, with their unborn child still, in the stomach, they decided to search the monster circle, or monster triangle. Sea of Monsters, that's what it's called. I know I was going to get it. The Sea of Monsters. They decided to drive. And drive they did. Storms, brutal earthquakes, even their ship rocking back and forth. Dramatically. Events would occur, tornadoes, natural disasters, even some abnormal creatures, you could say, would be on the ship. But even so, they hid themselves in, I think it was on the boat, where the rooms are. I can't remember what you call the room, the people's rooms in the boat. But yeah, I think it was headquarters. Yeah, their headquarters. So they locked themselves in the headquarters deep down in, I guess, technically wooden, because I feel like boats are either made out of wood or some other stuff. But yeah, wood, plastic, and all of this other jazz boats are made out of, at least in this time period. But yeah, they locked themselves as they shook. They hid under everything they had to protect themselves as the boat shook violently in the winds, as they would be crashing until they would hear a giant beast would travel the seas and hit the boat off course. As this monster would do so, the beast would crash the boat, destroying the boat as both lovebirds try to survive, but ending up crashing. And at this time, they would find themselves awake, unknown of where they were, memories scattered, shifts of memories lost, as they would see what they were finding. A land beyond their own, a world beyond their own, mythical creatures, other types of anomalous subjects, objects, and all those above and beneath and between. But what they did not know, though, were the dangers that lie within this world were far more than what they had for. As they would be stuck on an island, shipwrecked. They did not know what was on these islands, but they saw exotic items, fruits they never heard of, meats, animals, all these other creatures they never heard of, plants they never heard of. They would write it down and describe what it is, and describe everything about these subjects and objects and creatures. They would be fascinated, creating almost a library on what's left of what they called a ship. They would have dragged the rest of the wreckage of the ship onto shore, since it was, in not shallow waters, but, pretty up there. So it wasn't that far from land. They had to fight, some minor fish, but monsters would occur once and now. The people would try to survive, as they would have bearing markings, scratches, bruises, wounds. An age of survival. As the One Piece world they would have entered. Unknown, if not none at all, as the sea of monsters themselves only opens up. A few decades. One out of a few decades. What I mean by that is, I think, once a month. So about that. Either once a month or, once a week. Or, nah, that'd be too easy. I'll say, once a year. Once a month, once a year-ish. And I'll change it as I go along, but yeah. As the seas, they would give birth to a child. But unfortunately, the following weeks wouldn't be so easy on them. As they would have run out of food trying to deal with these monsters and creatures, but would end up being killed by them. As now we go to a pirate ship and a team of pirates. Yar ho ho! Or, I guess. We have reached land, my allies, I guess. Come on, let's find treasure. As this would be almost a battle-hungry ship, full of challenging assets. As they would notice, there was no treasure, but what they found was 2 dead parents and a crying child. They would set sail as they found the perfect candidate for what they presume. As the gladiator range. The gladiator range were those with devil fruits and non-devil fruits, Hakis and non-Hakis, powers and non-powers individuals would fight to death for money and glory. This child seemed to be about a couple days old, and after, the right amount of caring for her, the child would grow up in a harsh environment, if not the worst environment. No home, no shelter, no clothes, except for maybe a rag. But yeah. He would be forced to fight even at a young age against others. Or at least others like him. So children of 5 or whatnot. So yeah, it's a pretty messed up, place. This is pretty dark, but yeah. I guess, 5-year-olds kind of fighting to death each other, so yeah. Or people in general. As Midoriya would be born fighting people left and right. The day he could walk was the day he started fighting for his freedom in life. It was almost an addiction to him fighting. Being born into an arena, fighting non-stop. He felt glad, he felt alive in this action. He wasn't raised by love, he wasn't raised by empathy. He was raised to fight. And he was only taught that those are only respected by pure strength, brains, and those who can fight and fend for themselves, those who are powerful. As you would see, the hungriness within this man's eyes. Of course, that's until the Marines came, but yeah. Marines full of boats would surround the island, or the gladiator ring, and surround every single one of the pirate ships, destroying them and imprisoning all of the pirates on board. As they would get to a specific room full of treasures, and they would see almost a sickening sight. It would make a grown man barf, or even scared to see this. Skulls on the walls, gold blood on the ground. As they would see a throne of almost created by pure gain, treasure, bones, things that have been crafted into a chair. Broken pots from trees and other souvenirs. They would see a child no more than about 10 years old fighting, or not fighting, but sitting in the chair with bright eyes. Another challenger, I see. I've been waiting for a challenge. These squats haven't given me anything but weak shrimp. And I've been dying for a challenge. Now let's get this battle started. As the young boy would get up of his chair and throne, as immediately there would be a surge of bloodlust and willpower surrounding that entire area. The entire catacombs he was in would be surrounded in this almost unbreathable air. Every marine or in this vicinity would feel it. Would be bowing down towards this pressure. Immediately, those who adapted quickly to fight the boy tried, and they tried again. But for what they completed and what they gained was nothing more than casualties of utmost 30 Marines on that day by a child's hand. This child was not a child at all. If not, he was something more than a child. A monster. A beast created by pure battle and bloodlust. Out of survival and spite. One only hungry for battle. Knows nothing of love nor compassion. But nothing but rage. No, I don't feel like Kampachi's that angry. I mean, he's a pretty calm person. Enthusiastic, more like it. Enthusiastic. You'd feel the power surging through him. The adrenaline. I haven't had this much fun in years. Let's continue. As then there would be one person to step up. Great. I gotta deal with a kid now. I don't mind dealing with a kid. As this person would suddenly bring out swords from nowhere. Huh? What's this? As he would dodge as he could, getting cut multiple times. Ooh, you actually managed to cut me. Fascinating. What are you? Nothing but human. Unlike yourself. But if you're wondering what I did, I activated my devil fruit. Young one. I'm sorry we were late to help you. Sorry? Ha! You helped me by bringing this challenger. As the man in front of him would start summoning blades from almost out of nowhere. As his body would manifest blades itself, as their arms would turn to blades, trying to strike this child down. As now we go to a flashback. As a young Inko and Hisashi Midoriya would crash land, they would know that their time would be limited. So what they could, they gave all their energy and hopes to their child to survive. As they created a pile of food. This child will adapt to the natural surroundings, very quickly being born in it. By a few months, as you know, like a couple hours after, you know, the pirates will kind of come in. We know how that works, so yeah. Oh, I guess I don't have to hold back anymore. That's within seconds. The island would feel... by the way, it's actually a pretty small island, honestly. There's only the arena itself and, you know, some acres, like 1 acre or 2 acres of land, so it's pretty small. Let's do this! As it looked like this boy was about to lose, the boy transformed into something else. The captain itself didn't even know if the boy was human or not at this point. His physical attributes and abilities were far beyond those of a normal human. Being born to battle was his birthright. It was almost like he loved the battle. He loved the joy of fighting opponents to become stronger. As within seconds, a general would come up and stop the boy in his tracks. Using a rock-like ability to smash the child into a wall, knocking them unconscious. If you're this weak and unable to take care of a child, you're nothing more than a peasant. You're ridiculous. How are you even a captain? As the following day, you know, he would be in prison. Come on, I'll be right back to my classes. I knew every day, no. Okay, I think I fixed it. It's still there, come on. There we go. As the boy would be in cuffs. Isn't this new? What a fun battle that was. As though it would be a person behind him. Or on the side of the wall. Surprised you're alive, kid. You got guts. Surprised you're even alive with those on you. As he would show deep cuts and bruises. These were for battle. Without battle, there is nothing less to life but to win and become the strongest there is. I've yet to find someone, but that a Marine is something else. I didn't even sense him coming. Interesting. Sounds like you're a battle freak, if you ask me. By the way, my name's Chad. I'm here for being caught stealing food and other things like that. Being caught? Couldn't be me. As through the prison, in prison, the boy would learn things from this man. He would learn the joyfuls of life. There's more than just battle. There are things that sometimes battle can't get rid of. A hole in your chest. Something longing to be there. Something missing. People our friends. Can be friends. A journey. Basically giving him, an entire speech upon, humanity and whatnot. Understandable. A very interesting outlook on life, if you tell me. But I guess only the weak can figure it out. As you know, they start to bond. Even though, the ignorant boy, with his battle and whatnot, would be annoying time to time, trying to fight everyone in the prison. The man would enjoy his time. Of course, all good things must come to an end. As after a few weeks and months, an amount of 3 years would have passed. The man would have become almost a father figure to the boy, as the boy would care for the man very much. As for the first time the boy saw someone trying to mess with the man was the last day. As you can tell, he does not need a weapon to kill. His presence alone, his bloodlust alone, can almost suffocate people to death. Born to battle an amount of 5 years is a long time. Especially if you're born in it, basically. Or technically more than 5 years, I think. Maybe like 6 years, maybe. But yeah, it is what it is. As the time would come, as the boy would sit down, casually, normal day, eating the slop they would give him. The boy, due to his physique and absolute body mass, surprisingly very heavy, and muscle mass, the boy would have to eat tons of calories a day. Almost as if his stomach was limitless at times. Of course, though, the Marines will come. Okay. All of you line up. It's execution day. As this wasn't a normal prison. After their time is due, unlike normal jails, they would be set free, but this one wasn't normal. When your time was due with an execution of your life. As sadly, the man has been here for 10, 12 years. Has tried to escape many times, but hasn't been successful. By the time he was able to escape, he found himself with the boy. And he stayed with the boy for a while. The Marine captain and general will be there. Okay, maggots, it's time. You're all ex-pirates, ex-marines, are those who have been outcasted. Have broken laws or other things. You are only sent here to death's row. And right now, we have the 20 that will be taken care of. As they list the top 20, or at least the top 15, and then they get to the top 5. Bagadaboo. Fitr, Babadiboo. Lori. Khan. Havoc. and Kanpachi. The man in his younger years, would be just like the boy. Just like him. But there's a person who taught him compassion and love, straying him from the path of destruction. He learned to love the small things in life. Very much. As for when the boy heard this, everything changed. He looked at the man. You can't go. What would happen to me? We all have to die one day. And I guess today's my day. As there will be a ceremony of executions. One by one, they would all be executed in front of all the prisoners on a podium. No. The boy would be called the boy for no name. He was not given a name. And as for the man, kind of just called him Ken. A short name for himself, or given to the boy. As when it was time, Kanpachi could hear the rings of heaven calling him. I had a good life. I was also a brawler, little one. But look where it got me. A pirate's life isn't always easy. Sometimes you hit the rocks quicker than you can fight. I hope I can meet you one day. Is there a... Can you, like, not text me thank you during a video? There we go. As within instances, there'll be a yellow flash, or a yellow spark within the boy's heart. One of determination, one of willpower, one of one's soul. One that all emotions could agree on. One that all of the mind could agree on. One that all of one's soul can agree on. Mind, body, and soul could agree. As to be restrained by the guards, strong guards, all with devil fruits, as he would be forced to watch his only father figure he's known die in front of his eyes by the captain himself. As there would be a loud scream, but not from the boy, from those around him. As within the soul there was a cry, there's a yell, there's a screech. As now the boy knew, you can only respect those with power, those who enforce those opinions, those who have the right to think, those who have the right idea, those that should protect others with their life. Loyalty was one of many traits. He has been there thick and thin. Yes, it wasn't the best childhood, but it was something. As within an instant, there will be a roar from the boy. Something within the boy's soul would grow and grow and grow. You wanted me to find a meaning in life besides fighting. I have to protect those I care. And if I cannot protect those I care for, you're nothing but weak. Even if you fail and die trying, it is better than letting them die in front of you than to not protect them at all. For those who cannot protect those with their own body, mind, and soul are those who are weak. As a roar of pressure would go above the prison, as in within minutes, the captain would be fighting a monster. This boy wouldn't be a boy anymore. And immediately the boy would name himself the name that the man had. Of course, we all know this is still Deku, but technically in this AU he wasn't given, a name. Kenpachi Zaraki. As the battle will be legendary, Captain and the boy will be fighting. Vengeance, rage, fighting, the love of fighting, rage, vengeance, and all. There will be a yellow aura. The only ones who would be able to see this aura would be those who can sense strong power. Are those almost spirit-like. If you can sense someone's strength, then you would surely know that this battle was unlike any other. The captain would not be foiled by a boy, but this boy was nothing than a beast. Sometimes you do not need a hero. Sometimes in life, you need a monster. As they would fight over and over again, day and night for 3 days straight. As by the end of it, the boy standed victorious. He stood victorious over him, even stealing the captain's sword. He would use the sword, the same sword that executed his father figure, he would use to protect others. And to become the strongest. For if you are the strongest, you can protect anything. There will be nothing you cannot protect if you are the strongest. As for his mentality. But as that mentality grew, it will be forgotten in his memories as years will go on. He would now be 20, so about 7 years have passed. Fighting is what he would live for. As the more he would know, the more he would grow. The more power that would have been seen. Actually, not 20, but, around 15. Around. So about, give or take, like 4 or 3-ish years. That would happen. Well, we'll just skip the part where he basically massacred the entire island that they were on. Prisoners, Marines, anything alike. He lost control of his power and rage, killing everything in the vicinity. Everything. No matter who you were killed. The soul was born to fight, not to protect. It was raised to protect, but not born. As the smile of the soul would have happy blood on him. The happiness cannot be any more, as he would be lost at sea. A storm will brew as he will try to sail, being knocked unconscious by the stream of wind and tsunamis and waves. As he would end up at a farm-like land, near a beach almost. And that is where I will end this video. Thank you everyone for watching. Well, what should I call this? Haki deku, why not? I'll call it Haki deku. Thank you all for watching Haki deku. See you all in the next one.